What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Dude, I am ready. It's been a day. We say that like every Tuesday. I've been looking forward to this since like noon. Not even kidding. Like at noon, I went and had some lunch. I'm like, you know what? I'm just done with today. I'm just ready. Let's do the live stream. I could have started it then.
Right.
Agreed.
Good to see you guys, and also good to see Dalai Lama God, Scully Nation, Ben Corvubis. Cheers, guys.
What's up,
Cheers.
Ben? We missed you last week, Ben, I think.
Crazy as it gets, the drama is going legal. Yeah, that's kind of how like I feel right now about just like life in general.
So my biggest question is, did you get out on Thrill Ride this past week?
No, I didn't.
Dang it.
Didn't. I know. Wasn't able to. We're talking about another trip. I actually phoned it in. Last weekend was just kind of like, even that trip was going to be rough. So it didn't happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat ice cream and phone it in.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't even remember what I did this. Started. So the one thing from the survey on the Grady White that had me concerned the whole time was some moisture at the trim tabs. And so talked to a bunch of people on the Great Grady forum, and I went ahead and pulled the tabs and got a little bit of moisture in there, but I got the plan on how to deal with it. They said that area of the boat is solid fiberglass, so the moisture, you just got to get the moisture out, dry everything out, and properly seal up the screws when you put it all back together. So I got to clean it up. There's rust from the trim tabs all over the place, so I'm going to take this opportunity to clean the trim tabs and all that up real good, slap it back together, and we'll be one step closer to getting her down to the coast.
And in good time, too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Glad to hear that. That kind of stuff can be kind of scary.
Yeah, it was scary.
Well, I got my trolling motor put on and boat all squared away, so just waiting on this weather to straighten out now. It seems like that's been a topic every show as well as the weather.
Yeah.
Had frost again this morning, and I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's crazy.
We'll get some springtime here eventually.
Yeah, we go fishing. What's up? Good to see you here.
What's up, man?
They did a little breaking news on the sargassum topic on their channel. They did he had a short where he talked about it, so that's cool. We'll talk about more tonight.
And the tuna, which we'll be talking about as well. He beat us to the punch on both of those. Did some good videos. If you guys want a little bit more information on that, BLOB Fishing is a great channel for that. We are going to have an in-depth conversation about him here.
Yep.
Yeah. What's up, Wild Game Pursuit? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Wild Game in early tonight.
Danny
Danny fishing without a boat. You got yours what this weekend? Your boat?
He got his line wet, I'm sure.
I know he went and did some fishing. Yeah, he was talking about camping out at the jetty on Saturday night, Friday or Saturday night.
I remember that.
I was really curious. I've never done that, but how did you do, by the way? I didn't text you after that. I'm curious how I imagine you just completely bagged out on big sheep's head, I'm sure.
Probably did.
I almost did that. Something held me back. I don't remember what it was, but after Thrill Ride trip went down, I was going to go out to the jetty. Probably wasn't going to be able to hit up Danny because we were going to be going at different times.
Ice cream.
But I think that's what it basically came down to, was like there was like ice cream, and I just like felt like doing absolutely nothing.
That'll happen.
It in.
Hey, folks, like the T-shirt, you can get them in Stanley Orchard's shop.
For anyone who was there, like at first, and I'm trying to have like a thing redone on this, and I don't think I can do it for 5,000, but we have the 1,000 subscriber special that has everybody's name from the first 1,000 subscribers. It's not great. Like, it's kind of hard to read because that's a lot of names to cram into one little piece or whatever. But if you were like one of the first 1,000, that's something you're interested in. I still have those available for now.
Yeah, we got one of those. Wife wears that one typically.
Yep.
Dalai Lama, about boats. I got a question. I think I saw on A&J's channel the dual battery in the boat. Yeah, got that.
That's what he's known for.
First time boat on the more budget side of things, would electric or a pedal motor be the go? Well, if you're talking about on a kayak, yeah, they got pedal kayaks and they got
That petrol. He's in Australia.
I'm sure they got kayaks in Australia though, right?
No, he's asking about for the more budget side of things, would it be better to go with an electric motor or a gas motor on a boat?
Petrol, my bad. Well, what performance characteristics do you want out of the boat?
I'm kind of curious about that
You're
myself.
Not going to get what are they putting out on electric motor? I'm assuming he's talking about a trolling motor. You can get like 130-pound thrust. I think is about the max size trolling motors they make.
You know what? So what I'm gonna interject on this. He's saying, okay, petrol, gasoline, 2-stroke or 4-stroke. So yeah. I've been looking for motors for the John boat. I got one that's real similar to Grant's. At least I'm going to be getting one for my dad, his old John boat, but I need a motor. Been looking into motors. They make like 15, 20 horsepower electric motors. I'm curious about how and they also make them propane. Fun conversation on that. I don't know much about it. If anybody has information, I'm dying to know. Like,
I've never seen an electric motor.
No, not anything above a regular trolling motor.
Yeah.
Cool, I think. But the problem with electric motors, like the 130-pound truss trolling motors, you got to have 3 batteries or one lithium 36-volt battery to run that. So to run a 20 horsepower or above horsepower electric motor, that's probably a pretty significant electrical draw. I'm not sure if I think that's why you don't see a lot of boats with just electric motors on them, is probably that hurdle of having that amount of electric on the boat, and how do you keep those batteries charged?
How long will they last?
Right. My gas motor charges my battery, right? Because it has a alternator that charges the battery when it's running. So I don't know. And then how far do you want to go? Right. Yep. Gas, it's pretty easy to figure out your fuel mileage and how far you could travel in your boat based on your fuel mileage. But electric battery, I mean, is a trial by air. You go as far as it dies, and like, okay, I can't go that far. I can maybe go half that distance. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about that. But if you're talking 2-stroke or 4-stroke, then I would go to the 4-stroke. More fuel efficient, a lot quieter. I like my old 2-stroke that was on the Mercury, or that was a Mercury. It was on the Mako, but I like these Yamaha 4-strokes more.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that's got a 4-stroke, and it's can't even hear it running compared to my 2-stroke.
Yeah. First time I was at the ramp and somebody I didn't think their boat was running, but then all of a sudden it's driving. I'm like, what the hell? It's one of those new 4-strokes.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah, that's solid information. I've been doing I've been trying to find as much information on this stuff myself for that John boat. And I found a motor that, I don't know. It's a 20 horsepower for $1,700. It's new in box, but it's like a 2017 brand name Henkai. So, which
I wouldn't be afraid of it. There's a lot of people, South Florida Fishing Channel, Heiko, if you ever watch him, he's got a little John boat. He's got his regular fishing boat, but he's got a little John boat, and he's tried different like Amazon motors, electric motors, and little gas motors. Some name, I'm sure it was Chinese or Japanese, not well known, and he did little reviews on them, and some of those motors work pretty good. So
that's reassuring.
It's really, and if it's a 2-stroke, 2-strokes, the benefit of 2-stroke is it's cheaper. That's it's a 2-stroke. You got to mix your oil and fuel for a 2-stroke, where the 4-stroke handles that for you. Like my Mercury, though, it was a 2-stroke, but it had a oil tank, so it would auto inject the fuel and the gas. So it mixed it. You didn't have to. But the little motors, you're probably going to find a 2-stroke, lawnmower type 2-stroke motor, and it's so simple, right? You got spark, air, and fuel. And your adjustments are very basic, carburetor, other than that, spark, gap timing. So I wouldn't be afraid to spend, if it's cheap compared to the, you know, the Yamahas and everybody else in that size, I wouldn't be afraid to try it.
Yeah. I think my thing, if you're going 10 miles from land, I would want a backup. You know, I wouldn't want just gas or just electric. I would want both for a backup.
You know, I will add into this. So one thing that we make it a point to do when we go offshore with a John boat, and we do it. I've done 10 miles on a John boat offshore. I only do it. So we go east off of the beach where we go, and we will only do that when there are southeast winds.
Blow back.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that Mercury I had on the Mako, like I say all the time, but I have had to use my troll motor to get back in just out on the lake because I had the time. I did video on it, the fuel issues I was dealing with. Motor wouldn't run, and I had to use that troll motor to get all the way back to the ramp, you know, and it did it. But if I didn't have it, luckily I'm on a small lake. There's other boaters. I could have called somebody or waved somebody down and probably got towed in. But
yeah, that's
they weren't there. I would have been
lanes.
using that troll motor. So,
Wild
I'm curious about the propane.
Wild Japan, good to see you.
What's up, man? Yeah, the propane ones I'm curious about. I don't, from what I read on them, they were, I believe, a little less expensive, but it's also like they haven't put as much R&D into them as a gas motor, which has like 100 years, of R&D put into it.
I'm trying to think. Is propane economical?
It depends on what gas
right?
prices are looking like.
Yeah, propane's pretty expensive too. I don't think you save money, gas versus propane, unless it burns more efficiently, right? And so you use less of it to burn. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if like what kind of distance you're getting on it. You know, that they sell it on that you can get one of those tanks out of the gas station. And so you know that's you don't have to have like the gas can or whatever, you know, all the other stuff.
Right. You just hook up to that 20-pound canister.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's about $1 a pound, I guess.
How much?
Exchanging one here, they're $20.
Yeah, same here.
About $1 a pound, so that's not bad. Well, it just depends on how much of it do you use, right?
Right.
Yeah. If it only takes you 5 miles tops, you don't get a lot out of that.
Yeah, that's true. And they got a new diesel outboards now. There's a company, I forgot the brand name. They're selling a diesel outboard, which that's pretty interesting. Again, diesel economically costs more than regular gas, but diesel motors usually have better fuel economy and they usually last a whole lot longer. So I'd be interested in seeing more research on that. It's a weight issue.
Ben says, I've done the walk of shame with the trolling motor as well. I've been towed back so many times, it's not even funny. Yeah. And one time we even got stuck out. We were a little bit farther than we should have. And we started firing off flares just for the hell of it. Cause that's why you got flares, right? Like a boat's coming by. So it's like, well, screw it. Let's fire off some flares. And, and so we did. And thank God that we did. We learned a very valuable lesson. Those things went off like the most piss poor Roman candle. Like they didn't go 5 feet into the air.
Oh shit, that ain't good.
Yeah, so
they expired.
Yeah, we got them like 3 years prior. Like so, they were expired, not terribly, but it's one of those things where it's like, wow, okay, so at nighttime we would not have been seen. So every now and then, take a crack at your flares. Just see.
So fan boats, you're talking about the airboats, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, like that John boat with the big. We use for the flats. I
mean, they have purposes, flats, shallow water, you can run across stuff. But man, they're so dang noisy. A lot of duck hunters use them down the coast. You know when it's duck season because you hear those things running all over the place. So if you're sitting out there, a little solitude on your boat fishing, and one of those blaring things comes by, it could be aggravating.
I couldn't do it.
But they have a capability.
Yeah, they'll take you shallow.
Mm-hmm.
We got a buddy of ours that he runs I swear he runs probably a 8-inch draft, and he hits that at like 60 miles an hour. Scares me. But if you can do that with one of those boats, I don't understand the value of having that big fan on the back.
Yeah, they usually got that big old loud V8 on there. Blah.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, dude, everybody here who has a boat, like I highly suggest, Like my family, we do a lot of fishing, we do a lot of boats and stuff like that. Never had to fire one off, so never thought anything about it until that one day we were out there just having fun, and we did happen to be stuck not too far, so we weren't scared about it or anything, but just for fun, we're like, shoot, let's fire them off. I wish I'd been doing YouTube back then because it was absolutely hilarious. You know, like we ended up just firing them at each other because that's about all the distance you're getting out of them. Everybody should go fire one off in their front yard, like right after the stream, just to see.
We're going to see a house fire and it'd be like, well, Stanley Orchard told me to shoot my flare out in the front
Apparently,
yard.
Stanley's getting his from the Dollar General, and all the rest of us have like professional flares.
I know I replaced mine 2 years ago because they had expired, so it's probably getting close to that time again now.
What's up, Strung Out? Long time no see.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
how you doing? Good to see you.
You know, I am Dalai Lama. So I'm leaning gas 4-stroke personally. I've been looking for a motor like since before I started doing YouTube, and I am super finicky with it. That's the direction I'm leaning.
Yeah, 4-stroke's going to be better in the long run. 2-stroke you could probably find cheaper, but that don't mean better.
I agree, Danny. Not too big of a fan.
Yeah,
jet skis are worse because that's a different breed of person driving that jet ski.
Yeah.
I don't even blame the jet ski. I blame the person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really. I've only seen an airboat around here one time, and they were bow fishing.
Yeah. They'll do that. They'll use gaff, spear. So they're going on at night. They got all these lights on there. They sometimes even have a generator on the boat, more noise, running all their lights that they use, big old spotlights to see in the water. Seen that at the coast and here on the lakes, going after gar and carp and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Have some fun with it. Do it on July 4th.
Do it on the water, probably be the best idea with that.
Safest.
10-foot fiberglass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let's use that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that 10 miles out.
Talk about it in the ocean, yeah.
I've seen them, man. Those rigs off of Bob Hall Pier. So when we were all out there was those oil rigs on the horizon. They're a couple miles out. I don't know the exact distance from the beach.
Yeah,
but I see kayakers out there.
Yeah,
those
kayakers
rigs
are a different breed. The difference is though, a kayak they can flip over and get right back on it and go.
And you're not going to run out of gas.
Right. You're not going to.
Well, I saw a jet skier out there fishing for jacks last time we were out a couple weeks ago too. That was awesome watching him do that.
I mean, there's Sea-Doo makes a couple that's their thing. They're made for fishing. They've got attachments. They got the cooler, the live well, all of that on those Sea-Doos. They're pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a younger man, I would be interested in having one of those.
That'd be cool if it had a platform to stand on. I cannot stand. I hate sitting down.
If you don't have the cooler on the back, you can have a big flat area there. And then they got a small seat or the full size seat. So it's very adjustable, right? It's pretty neat.
Rolling. Cheers.
Hey, what's up, man?
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm not sure for a 13-foot.
I'm going to guess a 12 to 15.
Yeah, I was going to say at least a 10.
Yeah.
15 probably high end.
Yeah. Yeah, anywhere between 10 and 20, I don't think you can go wrong on 13. And again, what are you doing? You're putting along a river that's usually calm, or you going offshore, just inshore versus offshore, two different things. Now that 10-footer, with a little motor on it, inshore is not that big of a deal as long as you don't get crazy out there. But yeah, once you decide you want to go offshore, then
my consideration on it too is ours is a 14-foot, and I'm aiming for a 20 horsepower if I can, if I ever decide to actually pull the trigger or anything. I've got I plan on having 3 people in that boat. It's gonna be weighed down and heavy. So
where are you going to fish it?
10 miles offshore. with any idiot that'll get in that boat with me.
Right.
I want to take the family out for trout and reds in the flats, and
Oh yeah.
I want to open up our expertise. You don't see me doing much bay fishing. My family doesn't do a lot of that. I want to learn it. I want to learn how to get into the stuff that we don't normally do, and that's one of the ways of doing it.
Put a little manual jack plate on it so you can raise that motor up and run shallow, because those get flat bottoms on boat, they'll run nice and flat shallow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Danny, question: what's the farthest you've been out in your kayak offshore?
Probably that's Sammy Dam he's talking about right there. And if you're making the jump from Sammy Dam to like the next rigs out, you're talking about mega distance. I'm betting money that Sammy Dam's about as far as he wants to, unless he's just insane, more insane than me.
He wants to go 10 miles with 13 foot. You got to pick your days, weather. That's the key thing, and then keep an open eye, because it's amazing how, oh, it's beautiful, let's go, and then hours later it's not beautiful no more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary ones, because weather forecast, they're not right all the time.
Is Sammy Dam 8 miles, Danny? That thing, that set of rigs off of Bob Hall. I wanted to say it was 9.
That's crazy.
So that puts us about in the same where I thought it'd be.
That's state waters then.
That's state waters, yeah, for sure.
Some snappers if you can.
But I wasn't sure if it was 9 miles off the coast or
Me
9
or
miles
is he
from.
Yeah. Stanley's freezing up, or is it mine?
Me? Did I break up?
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute.
There we go.
We're good now, I think.
It's just weather.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
get my big boat.
Curious if Sammy Dam was 9 miles off the beach or 3.
There he goes again. He's back.
Yeah. Weather. It's sketchy
15
outside
horsepower
right
would be
now.
fine for 10 miles, or will I want more? So, Dalai Lama, you got to ask yourself, right? 15 horse will get you 10 miles out there for sure. But if that storm's coming, how quickly is that 15 horse going to get your butt back into safety when the storm comes? That's what a lot of guys will buy a new boat and just take the base, like, hey, this boat is good for anywhere from a 60 up to 150. And, well, I'll take the 60 because it's a lot less. Those motors are super expensive. But when you take that 60, you just got to understand it's going to take you a lot longer to get from point A to point B. And if there's a storm or something coming, you might have wanted that 150. So it's just something you got to decide on your own. Is it worth it?
Yep.
Hey, another consideration on that is you are going to have when you're out there fishing, you're going to have those days where it's like, okay, I have Saturday, I'm going fishing. I'm going to wake up early in the morning. I'm going fishing, and I have exactly 10 hours to fish. I have to be home at this certain time because I have to fillet fish. I have to take a shower, go to bed, because we have, this thing that we're doing Sunday morning. I guarantee that's how your days are going to, you are going to plan your day based on what time you have to be back. And the 10 or the 12 versus the 20 or the 25 is your fishing time. You're buying fishing time. That 25 is going to get you where you need to go faster.
Yeah.
You don't want to, flip the boat. You don't want to overpower it, of course, but it's going to get you out there faster. And the faster you can get out there, the less worn out you're going to be, and the more time you're going to get to actually fish.
Yeah, just like going out on those big party boats. Those things run like 22 miles an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to go 60 miles out. Well, we're going to be a 3-hour boat ride about to get there. And it's an 8-hour trip. So you get another hour or 2 to fish, then you got to turn around and come back. So, yeah, that's what the motor, and then something reliable. So he's saying the Bob Hall, those rigs out of Bob Hall are 1, 3, and 5 miles out. So that sounds more correct, because you can see them. They're right there. It's not like
yeah. You can swim to them.
You can swim to them.
You swim to them.
I don't
know if I could hit them if there's any current at all.
Yeah, 8 miles sounds like far in a kayak. 8
miles.
miles.
You do it, man. I'm gonna get when I get that boat down the coast, I'm gonna get him to come on the boat. We'll strap his kayak on the boat and then go out and then just throw his kayak in and say, all right, fish this area. You know, we're 20, 30 miles out and he's on his kayak. Video of him fishing.
Oh my God, that would be the coolest. It would be worth just filming that video to drag him out there 30 miles and hook him into like a Mako or you know, just some like one of those big sharks or something you get out there just to film that video and be like, I caught this fish out of my kayak. And then, you know, like do the whole video, never show the actual boat. And then at the end of the day, just pull it all back in and drag him back. That'd be great.
Yeah, the biggest thing, Dalai Lama, is what you can afford. You know, if you can only afford a 10 horse, get a 10 horse.
Yeah.
If you can afford a 25 horse, get a 25 horse. You know, and then just have to test it out. See, you know, can you run 5 miles out and 5 miles back and still have a half a tank? Then you know you can go 10 miles out and 10 miles back.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Good advice.
Keep us up to date on what you do too. I'm curious. I want to see what you get.
Don't let it hold you back. I know somebody who wanted a boat and had every reason in the world not to get a boat, and then start getting older and older, and it's like there's never going to be the perfect time to make that purchase, right? Just make the purchase, and you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to add to your life. You know what I mean? It adds the pleasure of fishing, the pleasure of having your own boat. All that adds to your life, and you know we're not guaranteed to be here all that long, so try to make it to where you enjoy your life while you can. So that's why I'm not. That's what we bought.
Legendary advice.
Bought that big boat. It's expensive. It's going to take a lot of work, but you know I'm not going to wait till I'm 70 and then try to do that. So,
right. What's up?
Legendary advice. Hey, what's up, Farm?
Boom.
Boom. WeGo says next level fishing has video catching a sailfish off one of those rigs in a kayak. That would be crazy.
I've hooked into we hooked into a sailfish, not at those rigs, but at the ones by Port A. Back in the day when you could do that, like you don't see that anymore.
That's crazy.
They're still there.
Yeah,
though.
and there are, especially I was watching. I think they're down Australia way, but they have these offshore kayaks that are completely different design to what I'm used to seeing our guys use around here. And like Wild Japan saying, I see them doing some crazy offshore stuff with them.
Yeah.
And some of them even use sails or the little electric trolling motors to get around. Pretty crazy.
Yep. Farm All Fanatic, cheers. Thanks for the $1.27.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I want to get in on that.
Appreciate your $1.27, sir.
I know I can beat that.
Cameron, well, sit back and relax.
What's up, Cameron? How are you doing, man?
Good. Bust
So
out on
what is this blob that's in the title? What are we talking about?
Yes, we got to talk about the blob.
Let's get to it because this is a fun conversation.
So it's what, a 5,000 mile wide algae and just taking over the.
Yeah, it's seaweed. It's sargassum seaweed. And if you ever, any of our videos, I think on the beach, you usually see some seaweed washed up. Sometimes we go down there and the beach fishing sucks because the seaweed comes in. And so when you throw your lines out, it's just getting in your lines and makes life miserable. It's ruined a fishing trip for us before for surf fishing. But then you watch some of the videos of people going out in their boats and they look for that seaweed out there because there's fish under it usually. And a lot of times they're catching mahi, wahoo, or whatnot underneath those seaweed mats. So there's good and bad with it. But this doesn't sound good at all. And it's right now, I guess it's coming into Florida and the Caribbean, which that sounds like, I don't know his timeline, maybe when you guys do, but sounds like it might ultimately be washing up on our dang beaches.
Yeah, well, it's going to make it. It's going to make it here. And I got to totally disagree with you on that one, John. You said it's not going to be good because it's such a huge patch of seaweed. This is what that thing's going to do. It's going to ruin the beaches. It's going to ruin tourism for some of these tourist beaches. It's going to cost cleanup. It's going to smell and all this stuff. But dude, this is bringing in, like, we had the hurricane in what was it, like 5 years ago that just like made it really hard to fish offshore. Harvey. And there was another one like 3 years ago. We've had a really hard time getting into like mahi and some other species out there. Swordfish we haven't been able to get into. They're just like not around. This big patch of seaweed, like this massive patch, it's going to come into the Gulf. It's going to ride the Gulf Stream, and that is going to bring in some fish into the Gulf of Mexico. I don't care. It can ruin the tourism stuff. Like, I don't care about all the people who are out there on spring break destroying the beaches with a bunch of beer cans.
They can't get offshore and go enjoy it. They got to fish from the beach. You don't care about them poor suckers.
I don't care about them. No, I can get by that just fine. I'm one of those poor saps without a boat who refuses to buy a motor and fishes off the beach. I'm good with it. I can suffer through the seaweed.
No, like I said, for the people that are offshore, yeah, you get mahi or whatever, it might bring them in. But if you're stuck fishing from the beach, you're SOL.
No. You're SOL for like 2 weeks. It's not going to be like a 5,000. If this patch of seaweed coming into the Gulf of Mexico, it's not going to last that long. It's going to ruin. It's probably going to ruin it in the middle of like June and July when it's super windy. It's going to be really hot. The water's muddy. You're not going to be doing very good fishing there anyway.
I don't care then because it's too hot. So
exactly. So let it ruin it. Let it ruin it.
Other people that are trying to.
You know when the best time of fishing was that I've ever seen in my life? COVID.
Yes.
This is just like the exact. It's not COVID, obviously, and I'm probably gonna get like canceled for even like saying that term on YouTube. But like this is gonna have the same kind of effect where like people are not gonna be out there and they're not gonna be doing their thing. You want to go surf fishing in the seaweed, you can still do it. You just got to go stand out in the water. You can't have that line cast out as far.
Yeah, that's not as fun. That's not chill surfing.
It's not as fun. It's not chill.
Sit down, drink your beer, watch for that rod because all of a sudden your rod's bending, but it's just bending because
it's just all the weed.
Yeah. The way I was reading it, like it's been around for years.
Oh yeah.
But it hadn't began to be a problem until 2011. Well, since 2011, it's grown tremendously. So I guess that's where it's going to cause problems. But yeah, it's thousands of tons of sargassum.
I don't even know that I agree with that. Like I've seen those big patches before. It happens. I think this one's outstanding. This is a lot bigger than normal, but not so big that it's like. I mean, they had reports of this. Rachel will bring sargassum up anytime you see Rachel, and she has all these stories that she likes to talk about the sailors back in the 1800s. Who would be sailing and they thought they were going to hit land because these patches of seaweed were so big and it was just seaweed floating by. Like those stories have been going around, that stuff existed well before we did. I don't think that I think this is just an outlier. I don't think it's a trend of, while I'm big on like the, like let's keep things clean and the continent of trash out in the Pacific and all of that stuff. I will fight against all that. I hate plastic bags. I don't think that this is global warming. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know what it is. I just don't like that much of it.
I love it. It's going to bring in the fish that you can catch on the beach.
Everybody mark this down because I don't want to once hear him in a live stream or in a video be at the beach and complain about the seaweed. All right. I will, but he better not.
I will find I got a silver tongue. I will find a way to complain about that. I don't know, very, very well, very conveniently.
SoFlo Outdoors. I didn't see you sneak in. Hello.
What's up, man? What's going on, Nody?
Nody in the house. Hello. Susie by the Sea, who loves to surf fish and therefore probably hates sargassum.
Is probably getting inundated already, I'm sure.
Yeah. East Coast, North Carolina. We're talking about Florida and Caribbean. So maybe a bunch of it will load up on Florida. Sorry, Florida people, and won't make it here.
Maybe it'll help take care of the red tide stuff, like a scouring pad cleaning the beaches down. That stuff is edible.
3 miles long and about 500 or 800 to 900 yards wide. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a big one.
It is.
But this one is what, 5,000?
That's what it showed. The map I saw, it showed
a map. Bring up the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Is that the first one?
Should be.
We got all of them on there.
Yeah.
Get that mess. Try to surf fish in that crap.
You just got to fish the green line on the outside.
But it moves. The green line is only green for a little bit because look at way out there. You can see brown patches. It's all coming. Wow.
So that's
all
it right
light
there.
Green stuff, right? Man, that's a bunch of it.
That is a lot. I can imagine the fishing is just great on the outskirts of all that, though. I guarantee it, man.
I believe that. I don't know if it's so wide, they could probably get up underneath it, and you never even get a chance to fish them.
Hey, you know what? I've done that before. It's gorgeous. Like there is really
Like
cool
that.
stuff to be seen. Yeah, I mean it's a different world underneath there, and there's a lot to see. You know, the thing that I learned the lesson really hard. I went and did some snorkeling. I tried to do some spear fishing under a big patch like this probably 10 years ago. The thing I didn't think of is that this stuff is a big filter sitting out there in the water. You know, just riding along the ocean. It was chock full of jellyfish, and I had no idea until I swam up underneath it and learned my lesson.
Dang, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, fish without who fouled my props.
Yeah,
that's not cool. Yeah, so a majority of us agrees the seaweed sucks. There can be some scattered out offshore, so you can troll along them or catch the mahi, but we don't want it coming into the beach. We all agree except family.
yeah. It needs to just sit out there. It needs to sit out there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, we need something like something that catches them right on the edge of the continental shelf and keeps it right there.
Yep. Yeah, look at all that. Now that would be something you want to fish around.
Yeah.
Out on a boat.
And that's right there. That's right there by the beach too. That's not even that far.
That's not our
Yeah,
beach.
the mahi is gonna be great around it. You're right. Dolly Lombo's asking, when's that shark competition start? The one that we do is Sharkathon down here, and I don't remember the date, but I think it's going to be in like October sometime for us.
Yeah, I don't. Let me see. Maybe I'll look it up real quick. If I can get control of my computer here. This thing's Sharkathon.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I might go and do some practice on that on Saturday. We'll see.
2023 dates.
Because I do want to get out. I'm going to make a concerted effort to practice more for that this year and try to get into them. Apparently, right now is the time to get into tiger sharks and mako on the beach. Never heard that before, but
so 6 to 8 October. 6 to 8 October is the scheduled dates, and then they have backup dates because of weather that are 10 to 12 November, which is Veterans Day weekend.
okay.
So 6 to 8 October.
I'm good on that. That's a good time of year for it.
Yeah, I like early October down the coast.
They don't stream it. It's a 3-day event. In a perfect world, I'll be filming a series of videos. That's like what the videos we do on our channel. I do them like seasonally. Like I make it a season kind of a thing. And I try to end it at Sharkathon. The Sharkathon is like the big, penultimate part of the whole like season every year now. If I can get my stuff together, it's always so hard, like organizing everything that we do, but I'd love to live stream out there. I haven't been able to do that because it's just such a nightmare mess getting everything together. But if I can get my stuff together, I'd love to live stream it.
That would be cool to see live stream from down there.
Yeah,
so as far as surf fishing, hopefully this Sargassum's a month or two out because end of April, mid 21st-ish of April is when me and Audrey still plan. We're going to have a little condo rented down there on North Padre, and we're going to do some surf fishing. We got like a day and a half of fishing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I will be down there. I'll be in the vicinity if you want company. Cool. If not, I'll just be, out of sight, right down the beach from you.
You're not. You're never out of sight.
Yeah, I'll be probably not.
Say, what's up, Daddy Duck 365? Good to see you, Matt. David Martin.
Oh, man.
Hope you're not working too hard.
Got a crew.
To my knowledge, nobody else streams it. I haven't seen anybody who does. Everybody's so exhausted because you're out there just fishing for 3 days straight in the sun and the wind. And I don't have, you have to like manually take out your bait. So everybody's using kayaks. I use a surfboard because I'm a jackass. I don't have a kayak. So we're all like, everybody's super exhausted the whole time. I've never seen anybody stream it.
No, seen videos after the fact from different
Yeah.
people, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think we had from going into pins. I don't think we had service like 2 miles before we even went in the gate.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's out there ways.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah, we didn't have service for sure.
Oh yeah. You're not allowed to have drones. You're not allowed to have anything that can. You have to manually. Your bait has to be manually placed. You're not allowed to use a drone. You can't even be using a drone. You can't use a drone on pins. You can't use anything with a motor or a sail.
Yeah, and the winners do take lie detectors. So
yeah,
if you think you're going to sneak it, they have a lot of strict rules about the film. The pictures have to be delivered to them from the cameras.
Yep. You can't take pictures with the phone. It's got to be with a camera.
Yeah, a lot of rules.
They're picky about it. What's up, Zane?
Zane, yeah.
Oh, good, man.
It's good though because it keeps it, fair. You don't. It's not a walleye stuff full of lead weights to try to do a tournament type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, it works in my favor. Not every time, but these guys with kayaks, they got me beat 9 times out of 10. But if we get a 4-foot surf day, that wipes out so many of these kayak guys. And hypothetically, if I'm in shape, then I can, with a surfboard, I can paddle out past 4-foot surf a lot better than what they can do in a kayak, except for the guys who are really pros and they have taken a kayak out in 4-foot surf. That totally limits the field. You're talking about taking 150 guys down to like 20 guys that they can manage getting their baits out. And so that's when it works in my favor. Now I can't get as far as the guys with a kayak, but we're still talking about, a field of 150 competitors. Now I'm in the top 20 if that's the conditions and if I'm in shape and if I'm not exhausted and everything else. That's my mentality on it. I haven't won anything yet, so it hasn't. I'm not saying
that way yet.
Yeah, hadn't played out like that.
So it sounds good on paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mike. What's up, Mike?
What's up, WTF?
Hey, what's up, man?
Fishing.
Good to see you, Mike. Been a while. Hope you're not covered in snow still up there in North Dakota.
No,
I was going to say.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they've had it bad up there. Hypothetically in shape. There are some funnies.
We got some good ones getting posted. I had to throw those in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living my life lately. I like that one. Well, I don't like the fact that somebody's boat is sunk, but
see the name of the boat. No worries.
Yeah, you got to worry after.
That's my favorite boat name I ever saw was the Unsinkable 3.
Did it sink? Oh,
well, there had to be a third one.
Yeah, the light went off after I said that.
Yeah, it's one of those. It takes a second. You're like, oh, yeah,
Well,
I got it.
Yeah, Mike. Cheers.
Mike.
Hey,
cheers.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Ching.
Much appreciated.
Tell you what, we're on that time. What do y'all say we take a look at some pictures?
Let's do it.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Before we do, we got some questions we got to get to, and we're on borrowed time with this. Okay, so we're going to do a lightning round with questions real quick. I forgot we had these. My apologies.
Damn stuff.
I have 2 ugly sticks with spinning reels. I'm going to start fishing a local pond in my town that stocks trout, bluegill, and catfish.
Okay.
Looking to replace his line. Had a bunch of issues with it tangling back in the day. Wants to know if he should go braided mainline with fluoro leader or all fluoro. Thinking 6 pound for the fluoro. Never used braided, so he has no idea what to do with that. In terms of the setup, already has a bunch of rods and stuff that he uses. He has a bunch of baits and everything that he uses. What type of bobber and hook? And what is the basic setup for fishing a local pond that stocks trout, bluegill, and catfish? Anybody want to throw some darts at that one? Give this gentleman some thoughts.
I would rig one for lighter weight fishing, targeting the trout and bluegill. likely with some type of bobber, smaller line, and I think I would go straight like 8 or 10 pound mono, and then
You
the
would?
other one I would rig a little heavier, maybe a Sante Cooper rig, Carolina rig, very similar, targeting the catfish with a heavier line, right? Bigger bait going after the catfish. If I had 2 rods and those were the fish I was fishing for.
I agree with the idea of doing them both for 2 different kinds of setups for the 2 different kinds of like fishing that you'd be doing. And if I was to ask a question like that, if I was to look for information like this, which I often do, John is the person that I would refer to on that. So I would do exactly what he says on the way that I would do them.
Grant?
Yeah. I've never put a braid on a spin cast drill, I don't think.
Got braid on almost all of mine. My lightweight crappie rods, monofilament, but almost everything else, especially for cats, I got braid on them. And then just a small, 2 to 3 foot mono leader on them.
Yeah, I put braid on my bait caster. I actually got some in the mail today. I had ordered to restring my bait caster.
I do my little spinning rods with, I do all my rods braid to fluoro.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I like it. I just keep it that way.
You don't get that memory coils, especially from a spinning reel with braid that you can't get with mono. That's one drawback to monofilament on them.
I agree. Next up, Catfish McGee says, I have never fished saltwater solo. What are some things I need to know equipment-wise? My 2 thoughts on that. Now, it really depends on what you're going to be fishing for. It does make a difference. Yeah. But number one thing that I go for is presentation. Whatever is at the end of that line, I want it to look as natural as possible. Typically, that's going to mean shrimp or some kind of shiny little, bait fish or a lure that looks like one of those 2. I want a fluoro leader, unless I absolutely have to have a wire leader for some reason. I want it to be clear. I don't want them to see it. I don't want a whole lot of heavy weight if I can avoid it. And when that hook is, I don't want a bunch of dangly crap all over the line. I basically just want my bait on a hook.
Yeah. Real quick, WTF Mike. Yeah. Always some tape on the reel when I put braid on it so it doesn't slip. That's a good point. So for this guy, I'm like, okay, you're fishing saltwater solo, but are you fishing from a pier? Are you surf fishing? Are you fishing from a boat?
Makes a difference.
All those make. And then if you just definitely want to catch some fish, get some shrimp. Get some live shrimp.
Yep.
Right, on a Kell or circle hook, and depending on the tide, current, how the water's moving, how much weight you need, and you're going to catch something, right, with live shrimp. Might not be what you want to catch. But you're going to catch something.
Exactly. Scully says, match the hatch, match the season for bait sizes, clean your gear, absolutely, and move around till you find the fish. Exactly.
Yep.
Well said.
Good points. Yep.
I like it.
Yep, I agree.
Next up, all right, it's that time. Let's jump into our photos of the week. We got a couple of photos we'll be looking at here. This is, of course, brought to you by the Premier Fishing Hunting Discord server. There's a link in the description down below. Come and check it out. Come hang out with us sometime. And let's see the pictures that you got. Let's see what kind of weekends you're having.
Beautiful.
Yeah, everybody's got like some weekends out here. Black Warrior Lures. He had a good one out there in Mississippi. He's hitting the river. He wasn't able to fish, but he got some cool pictures. Wild Japan. A ton of gorgeous shots. I just could not even get close to fitting them all, but had some just amazing adventures. His whole, he goes hiking like 8, 10, 12 different places every weekend. Amateur Outdoors had a bachelor party that he went to. Nick got a little fresh air outside. All in all, had a lot of people getting outdoors.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw the photos today. I actually went in Discord and seen the Amateur Outdoors. Heck, St. Louis only like 2.5 hours for me. Pretty close. Wild Japan, I think he had several pictures in there from his train ride. Man, there's some good pictures in
all
there.
All over the place.
If you're not in the Discord, just join it just to look at Wild Japan's pictures. I mean, he's got some always got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I totally agree. This doesn't even do his work justice. There's no way I could fit like all of his stuff in there. But yeah, you want to live it. You want to live a fun, like vicarious life through Japan, having a vacation, everything else. He does like he makes his own like wine. He makes his own. He just does it all. Great food, everything you name it. He's in Taiwan right now.
Yeah, that's a cool trip.
Next up, just a lot of happy faces.
Yeah, really, right?
Bottom right corner, Catfish McGee got a little puffer fish. Was asking about, how do you prepare these? How do you eat them? Had to warn them on, absolutely don't do that because they're poisonous. You don't want to do that your first time. RC got himself a nice carp. Black Warrior Lures just having a blast out there on the river.
Yep.
And then new to the server and new to the channel, I was hoping he'd be popping in. I don't see him today, but he'll be hearing about this. Killer Panda went out and did some fishing. He's a video game YouTuber, or a cooking YouTuber. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, Killer Panda. But it doesn't matter because Killer Panda didn't get this fish. His girlfriend did. So nice kudos to her on an awesome little pike.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah,
that's her first fish ever.
First fish ever.
It's all downhill from there. No.
Yeah, right. Good luck getting better than that.
Yeah.
J&C No Limit. Good to see you.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? How's Cassie? And the kids? Now, we're going to take a quick look at some boats before we move on to the competition. We had to do it. Yep. We just got a few. Grant, I'd love that you posted those in there. I love this. I've seen your boat so many times in videos. It's neat to see like the boat in photos, like in the garage and everything else. But that's like the exact same boat that I have. Like we have the same, even the way the hull is in the front and everything to cut through the waves a little bit. Makes me excited about getting out there on it.
Yeah, we put a call out last week on the live stream to see some boat porn on the forums, and here you go. It's here.
Yeah, I think I was the only one that posted a boat picture.
No,
no, you weren't.
I didn't see any others.
We got some pictures from John. He's got. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's not John's boat.
All right, Stanley. There's my evolution of boat for the last just over a decade.
I've never heard about that one boat you got down there. I'm familiar with the Mako and of course the Grady White.
That other one preceded the Mako, and we named it Misadventure because every time we went somewhere with that boat, we had a misadventure.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a little deck boat. It was like a 16-foot deck boat with an inboard-outboard little Chrysler 4-cylinder motor. It was a good little boat for its purpose, but it was like a 73 model, I think. So yeah, it was a pretty old little boat.
Nice. What's up, Pickle Outdoors? Good to see you, Pickle.
What's up, man?
All right.
This is, I didn't have any pictures readily available, but whenever you see us out in our videos, this is the kind of, that's Thrill Ride is one of those guys right there. That's a Freeman 34 VH. And then my dad's boat is like that Sea Hunt right there. I figured we'd have a little bit more time to talk about boats. We don't, so I'm just going to keep on moving, but I wanted to be able to show what, people are going to be.
Very nice.
Yeah, both for great, opportunities. I love them both. Obviously, blessed anytime I get an opportunity to get out there.
I got 2 of those.
And then, of course, when we're comparing ourselves as YouTubers with, spend a little time on boats, so you can't help but not take a look at the guys who are the pros here, like Robert Arrington, Deer Meat for Dinner. That's his new boat.
My gosh.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Thank you, Susie. I like that name. The wife and me came up with that name. Thanks, Mike. That boat has been a lot of work, but it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that thing on the water.
H, that's nice.
Yeah, similar. Those catamaran hulls are just like, and the dual engine makes you feel so much safer.
It's funny. The folks around Australia have been running cats for a long time. Wondering what Americans were doing not running them. So here we come. Everybody's coming out with cats now.
They're pretty.
I like that walk through
Yeah.
transom.
That whole boat is just nice.
All right. Now we are down to the last couple of minutes of the live stream here. So need everybody in the chat. We're going to take a vote and see who got the best pictures of the week. Don't vote for John, even if he's on there. Let us know. This is, of course, our Photographer of the Week 2023 Wall of Fame. Of course, G Llama here in the chat managed to get on the board last week. Let's see who's going to replace him as the Photographer of the Week. Guys in the chat, let us know who got it.
Oh, that's tough.
It is a hard one.
Golly. Usually right away I can pick the one I like the best. Not this one.
I'm putting my vote in for Killer Panda just because it's the first.
Yeah, I love that one. But I love
I'm voting that alone. Plus, I mean, come on, that's just for the Wall of Fame. That just nothing against Wild Japan, but
RC's look on his face with that fish, man. It's like he is excited.
True.
And then Wild Japan, that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna vote. Love the first fish story.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Zane Collins says, "Hey, that's a beautiful picture." If you're going just, it's tough. Is it just the photography picture, or is it the subject of the picture you're picking? You know what I mean? It's you can go either way on some of those.
I totally agree, and it is unfortunate. Like we've had this problem for probably 3 weeks in a row, where we have these awesome pictures. There's got to be a winner, which means the other guys don't win, and they're like every single week there has been somebody who did not win and would have made an excellent addition to the Wall of Fame. So.
Right. Agreed. How much longer they got to vote, Stanley?
You got about 2 minutes. Let me say, so we're going to make a little announcement. I mentioned a thing that we were going to make an announcement. I'm going to go ahead and put this out here now while we wait for the last couple of votes. I'm going to put it out here right now. So we are ending the first quarter of the year. So we want to have a little bit of a contest. We want to see who can get the best picture of the first half of 2023. We're going to have a little contest. I'll have all the rules and everything posted. Please come in, check it out. Links in the description down below. Come post your pictures. Get in on the Wall of Fame, and we're going to have a little contest. We're going to give away a gift card. We're going to have some fun with it. And whoever gets the best picture of the first half of 2023, we're probably going to do like a Cabela's giveaway gift card, something along those lines. I will have an actual thing mentioned for you in there now, and I'll have like an event posted and all that stuff. But I want to let you know now that we're going to be doing that and get in on it as quickly as you can.
And no, Stanley Orchard cannot participate.
And I will not. I will not have my little Ken doll with the hands holding up the fish in front of the camera.
Nice.
Yeah.
John's boat doesn't get to be in it.
What?
Grant's wall doesn't get to be in it.
Look, a picture of my boat actually on the water. Huh?
Be nice. I'm going to go ahead and call it and say B ran away with it. Oh, and Ben come in with a C right at the end.
Oh.
It's still B, though, isn't it?
Definitely.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep, Killer Panda ran away with it. Hey, congratulations, Killer Panda, on an awesome win. Appreciate the submission. Everybody else, get out there, go outside, go have a great weekend. Get your pictures in on the contest. Let's have some fun with it. And thank you so much for being a part of this whole thing. We really appreciate it.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's everybody got coming up this weekend? Me personally, not quite sure yet. Hoping the weather straightens out. I'd like to get out and catch my first fish of 2023. What do you got going on, guys?
Hey, and we also want to see an update on the rock work in the backyard. You haven't given that either.
Yeah.
That's a couple of requests we have for you, sir. I'm swapping this weekend. It's not a boat weekend. It is a honeydew house weekend. We did a remodel of a bathroom that isn't complete yet. Still got all the trim and all that to do. So this weekend, if I get that knocked out quick, which I doubt because there's painting involved, but that's the number one priority this weekend is finish that bathroom remodel.
I got no idea what I'm going to be doing. I'm obviously always hoping to get out on the water, go do something that is entirely weather dependent. And the way things are going right now, you have no idea what's going to happen from any day to the next. But the plan is to get out there and go do something. And if not, it's going to be honeydews in preparation for a weekend the following week, something along those lines.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like folks in the chat don't have too much that they got planned. Snow blowing, WTF Mike. Golly.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a little late in the season for that, buddy.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, we hope this weather straightens out for everybody for sure.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll be over at A&J Outdoors.
No, that was last week, right?
Okay, so Stanley, sorry. Be down there. Stanley Orchard. Links to everybody are in the description. Check out the Discord link.
Yep.
We'll see everybody next week.
Have a great weekend, guys. Go enjoy it.
Good night.